Hi, I'm Sylvain Guettoli from Aprilia Racing.
Circuit that the riders love. Certainly I've only really fond memories from racing here.
But it's still really good, and now it's like clearly divided in two parts with, like, you know, the slower first part and then the flowy fast bit in the second part.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, let's go.
Right then, Sylvain, this has changed a little bit since my day, but now you're going straight into a double apex right and all the way around then into a left, so I'm thinking a good start is fairly critical.
Yeah, first good qualifying as well is critical because you, like you said, it's really twisty and tight, so you can easily lose quite a bit of.
First left-hander, again the double apex right down at the bottom here.
Yeah, very important here with the corner speed. Corner speed, release the brake. This is like
let it flow.
Yeah, a bit of a 250 style corner.
Yeah.
And then power it up here. Well, that's one of those corners, you know, with the banking and the fast speed, and you know, where you can really carry a lot of speed in the entry and dig the front ends. The whole slowing down is quite complex because you have to slow down while you change direction as well. Yeah, very slow. That's the slowest corner of the track. First gear, very slow. Actually,
Back to first gear.
Oh yeah, back to first gear. That one is so tight. Probably 30 mile an hour, very slow.
Yeah.
And then driving for the main big straight.
Yeah, and then this is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a straight, but you're going from a curb to another curb.
You can even climb on the curb here on the exit.
Yeah.
Championship. We've had a bit of rain overnight. The circuit is a bit slippery, but we've got two very important races coming up for you today. Steve Day alongside James Whittam. Having had a little look outside at the conditions, James, this is just about the worst that you can imagine. It's very slippery, but you can't go on wet because there's no water on the circuit.
Yeah, it's been declared a dry race, but essentially it doesn't matter for these Superbike boys. It's flag to flag, which means unless conditions get so bad that there's a risk of, you know, being really dangerous, they will stay out there. So if they want to swap, if they start on slicks and they want to swap to wets, well, they've got to come into the pits and do it within the race time. Conditions are, it's kind of slicks or intermediates. Certainly it's not wet enough for wets. It's a little bit greasy, there's damp patches. It's just in between, like you say. For a rider, it's a little bit of a nightmare situation, really. You won't know what to go with. You can't go with wets. It's certainly some kind of dry or intermediate tyres.
But either way, riders, I would have thought, would want to try and avoid having to come into pit lane.
Absolutely.
So making the tyre choice early on is critical.
Yeah, yes it is. That said, it doesn't actually look like it's going to come on to rain. We've had no rain this morning as such. It's just damp and taking a long time to clear up the rain that has fallen overnight. It's a weird conditions, really.
That man there quickest in this morning's warm-up, and that was a little wetter than it is now.
Yeah, it was, and quickest with not such a quick time.
21 laps for World Superbikes here, race one. Loris Baz here, of course, taking his 2 wins at Silverstone in conditions very similar to this. Can it be his day, or will Sykesy get himself another double victory like he did back at Aragon? We now wait for the start here at Assen, and the lights are on, and away we go. It's a decent start off the line from Sylvain Guettoli in the middle on the Aprilia number 50, and on the outside it is Loris Baz, but he won't get into turn 1 in first place. It is Guettoli, and a really good start from Jonathan Ray, number 65. He's up into second place. Don't forget Jonathan, home circuit for the team, and he's a double winner here. Sykesy is up to third, James.
Yeah, brilliant start for Jonathan Ray. You need that, especially in conditions like this, and especially at this circuit, because to pass people you've got to run offline, and offline, as we know from what we've seen from a warm-up lap, there is damp patches and even wet patches off that racing line.
Not the greatest of starts for the 2 Suzukis, but we'll keep you posted as to how they're getting on. There is Tony Elias just up ahead of Nicolo Canepa, but it's Sylvain Guettoli that leads from Jonathan Ray, Tom Sykes and Loris Baz. On board now with Jonathan Rea in third place. It's Sykes just behind him there, number 1 plate on the Kawasaki as they now make their way into the hairpin.
And you can see just how much camber there is on most of these corners. And what I mean by camber, if you don't know, is the fact that it's dished. The road surface and angle is helping you. It's really, really... The only thing you've got to be careful of is where the camber drops off. If you're just on the power, if you've got the rear slide in, it tends to slide more as you drop over, the camber dropping away.
He's looking for his 19th career win.
Yeah, he's 5th this year. Just class act, Tom, when things are going his way. A lovely ride.
This is his 13th race this year, so after this we have reached the halfway point. It would be 13 wins, 9 podiums and 5 race wins for Tom.
Yeah, we just saw his granddad, his wife and his brother in the garage. He'll be enjoying this now.
He's been in some serious pain this weekend, really struggling, it seemed, on Friday pre-practice.
I just didn't think it'd bother him. You know,
well, you were right.
Yeah, I know Tom, he's a fairly tough lad. To be fair, he's never had to ride that injured. He's not a crasher, but I didn't think it'd affect him too much.
20 years ago, the last time a Kawasaki was victorious around this circuit.
With
Scott Russell.
Oh yes, it was, yeah.
Now then, it's the 2 Aprilias versus the 2 Kawasaki's. This is for the final spot on the podium. Rea leads from Davies, but this is hotting up nicely. Gintoli's got his gloves on him.
This is getting messy.
Chaz Davies is clearing off now in second, and it would be a massive relief to him to get on the podium.
Yeah.
But who's going to be on the 3rd spot?
Oh, no, Melandri's way wide there.
And that might just do it for him.
His chances are scuppered now. No chance of a rostrum for Melandri in my book now.
Tom Sykes and Sylvain Gintoli, they know each other rather well.
5 passes in 2 corners, that was.
Oh. The 2 Kawasaki riders getting their elbows out as well. Oh, and that was Sykes up the inside of Melandri.
Yeah,
Melandri lost out big time, but it was a clean move.
It's a clean move, and it's in the place where you'd expect it as well. Little stop-start, first gear chicane onto the start and finish.
Baz comes through and mugs him as well.
Yep. I don't mind people mugging Melandri because he is king block pass mugger.
Oh, and Sykes is through again. Can he get it stopped this time on the Kawasaki? Yes, he can.
Perfect.
So the current World Superbike champion is up into 3rd place, and now Loris Baz, his teammate, wants to go past fellow Frenchman Sylvain Gintoli, and Gintoli could lose some serious points here if he's not careful.
I'm surprised how easy it was for Sykes there to get past Gintoli. They did it clean as a whistle.
Just before they go down into that chicane up the hill, Sykes seems to have so much more drive than anyone else.
Yeah, that's coming out the double right at Acqua Minerale, then there's a big flick left as you crest a rise. It's a beautiful piece of track to ride. It does seem like Sykes at this point in the race has something extra there.
The 2 most successful riders from Britain in Imola are in 1st and 3rd place. Jonathan Rea, of course, the first ever Brit to win here in Imola at the moment, looks set to take another one. We're on board now with Gintoli. That tyre looks a bit chewed up.
I'm thinking Gintoli has tyre issues here.
Chaz Davies is looking good for 2nd place, so we've got, at the moment, an all-British podium. There's Sykes ahead of Gintoli and Baz. And Gintoli's not going to get back past Sykes, you know. It's all about whether he'll stay ahead of Baz.
Yeah, he's struggling.
Enormous talent, James, but this has been something else.
Yes, absolutely. I haven't seen much of him, to be honest. This is he didn't up the inside of Salon.
Yeah, that's Idden going up into 12th place. He's been quietly impressing us, actually,
Christian
Idden.
Yes, he has. Derbyshire lad was riding well, I think.
Just a few turns left then for Jonathan Rea here. It's going to be effectively back-to-back wins here. He won in Assen just a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to get another one here, and he could be one to stop in race 2 as well.
Baz on Gintoli, and that worked.
Gintoli really, really struggling here in the latter stages.
Tyre issues, I think, Steve. That's what I'd say.
Here we go then for Jonathan Rea. He's going to take this victory in fine style. Chaz Davies in line to take his first podium of the season, and hopefully the first of many. Tom Sykes, the reigning World Superbike champion, he had a bit of work to do from 6th on the grid, but it's looking like Sykes will resume as championship leader. But into the final chicane we go. Jonathan Rea crushes the opposition in race 1 here in Imola. A stand-up wheelie celebration, flag to flag win easy as that. Chaz Davies gets his first podium this season. The Ducati squad delighted with that, and so they should be. And Tom Sykes, World Superbike champion, finishing in third. It's a British 1, 2, 3. Loris Baz in fourth ahead of Sylvain Guintoli. Melandri sixth, Laverty seventh. There's Alex Lowe's teammate in eighth. He was closing on Laverty, but not quite close enough. And then we wait for Tony Elias in ninth. That's Christian Idden further back. But what can you say about that from Jonathan Ray?
Brilliant. Yep.
Today was a very good race. We had a good race pace. The first 4 or 5 laps. I know I had the whole pack behind me, and I tried to push. I push so hard I can, but in the end I was overtaken, and I tried to push even harder. And we have had a good battle. We had. Yes.
Yeah, so I found a good race pace, and the team was very good team, and the bike was set up very good, but also in the corner when grip was, the motorcycle was kind of bad, and with the battle here with the Tommaso, but the race pace was good, grip was a little bit bad, but I found a good competition, and thank you to the team.